Hi, I'm Bill Collins with Interstate Truck Driving School. Welcome to today's CDL Safety Tips. Well, old man winter has given up the ghost and it's springtime here in Minnesota. Most of the snow is all melted off. In fact, it's caused some minor flooding in some parts of the state. But it's time for us truck drivers to talk about spring road restrictions. Almost all of your interstate freeways have a 10-ton weight per axle capacity, and most state roads, state highways, have a 9-ton capacity. But during the spring, while the frost is coming out of the ground after a winter freeze, many of the county roads and city roads will have restrictions on them that reduce the amount of weight we can carry in our trucks. Now, over-the-road drivers don't have to worry too much about road restrictions out on the major freeways, but when they get off the main routes to make a delivery at a local warehouse or manufacturing facility, then they need to be concerned about these restrictions. If you're working for a major carrier, your dispatcher is going to give you proper routing instructions, so you won't have to worry about it. But more independent owner-operator type of drivers, then they're going to need to do more homework to figure out where they can and can't go. Now, the first thing you need to know with dealing with all these weight issues is how much your truck and trailer weighs empty. If the carrier you're working for has given you that information, you're good to go. But if you don't know or you want to check, the first thing you got to do is head off for a truck scale at a truck stop and figure out how much your truck weighs empty. Then you figure out how much you're going to weigh in total, whatever you get your bill of lading, and add the weight of the cargo to it. So let's go over to a truck stop to run over the scale real quick. I'll show you that works. So I'm going to pre-trip my truck and we'll head over to the truck stop. Okay, so I'm coming onto the scale here nice and smooth. I don't want to damage their scale, so I try to come to a nice smooth stop here on the CAT scales here at the Stockman's truck stop in South St. Paul. So now I'm going to check in with the clerk here at the truck stop.
First way?
Yes, first way.
Truck number?
07.
Do you want me to put a trailer number on the ticket?
No, that's okay.
What's the company?
Interstate Truck Driving School.
Alright, got you. Come on in.
Thank you. Okay, so now they've got us weighed inside there, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the scale here, run inside the truck stop, and get our weight ticket. Okay, so I've got my scale ticket from the truck stop. And this is going to give me my total gross weight and the amount of weight that I have on each axle. And what we're using here today, this is our race car hauler that we use to haul the race trucks out to the racetracks on the weekends. And I don't have a lot of the equipment in, so we're in at 54,000 pounds total gross weight. I've got 10,340 pounds on the front axle. On the drive axle of the tractor, I've got 21,440 pounds, and on the trailer axles, I've got 22,240. Now, the first thing I've got to do in order to deal with these spring road restrictions, as you saw earlier in our segment, the restrictions are identified in terms of tons with those signs on the road. So I've got to convert pounds to tons in my mind as a part of my pre-trip inspection, so that when I'm driving down the road and I see one of those restrictions ahead, I can identify right away whether I'm okay or not. So I'm at 54,000 total, 54,000 pounds total. So that's going to be 27 tons. And I want to convert each axle. Remember, I have 10,340 pounds on the steer axle. That's a little over 5 tons on the front axle, 2,000 pounds a ton. So technically then I'd be 340 pounds over weight on a 5-ton road with my front axle. So what that tells me right from the get-go is with this weight configuration, I can't go on a 5-ton road. Now, another easy way to convert this, at 54,000 pounds, 5 axles, that means that I'm over the 5-ton axle weight. See, in other words, if I had 60,000 pounds total, then I'd have a problem with a 6-ton road. If I had 70,000 pounds total, I'd have a problem with a 7-ton road. So that's the simple way to do it, is take your total gross and then simply reduce it, take that number, so again 70,000, and knock off the thousands, and you got 7, that you're on a 7-ton road restriction with a 5-axle tractor trailer combination. Now if you're running 4 axles or 3 or 6, then you're going to have to do some other math. But the point of this discussion is You need to figure out what your weight is on each axle, your total gross weight, convert that to tons so that you can go down the road legally and figure out whether it's appropriate for you to drive down roads during the springtime like this. And then this also plays into bridge restrictions. There are bridges that have restrictions in terms of weight too, and that's always going to be identified by tons. So you've got to do this conversion in your own mind ahead of time so that you're ready to make decisions appropriately as you go down the road. And a good truck driver too is going to do his homework, his or her homework, to figure out what road restrictions lie ahead before they make their decision as to what route they're going to take to get to a designated spot. Well, bottom line, truck drivers need to know exactly how their equipment is configured. They need to know their height, weight, length, and of course that all-important weight issue in terms of overall gross weight and the axle weights. Well, there you have our CDL safety tips for the day. I hope you learned something about road restrictions in the springtime up here in Minnesota. I'm Bill Collins with Interstate Truck Driving School. Check us out on the web at www.interstatedriving.com. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day, but more important, have a safe day.